Hello folks, I was going to write a post later on today, but I decided just to make a short video out here on one of my favourite walks in all of the earth, Kyton Glenn, with its castle, its church. But for me, being down here in the Glen, I've been coming here since my 20s with all the dogs that I've had during that time, and I absolutely love this place. It's a magical place, Kyton Glen, literally dripping in history, and one of the most peaceful and tranquil areas that I could wish for. So as I say, rather than make a written post on the YouTube page, I just decided to do this short video and tell you about what's coming up. And with shorter daylight hours, less time to get out there, it's much harder, especially if you have some long content to make up and edit. But really, to get out there with the weather, with the amount of light we have in a day, and make the content that I want to make, it just makes it a little bit more difficult, a little bit more challenging, but the passion for it never wanes. What I've got coming out is a video on a character that's intrigued me for a long time. He's not so well known. He was certainly well known back in the day. Now, when we think of Scottish writers and bards and poets, what comes to mind straight away is Robert Burns, Sir Walter Scott, who wrote, I can't remember, Marmion. Marmion was the name of his play or book, where he features Kyton Glen here. Alan Ramsay, another. And these are poets and writers who wrote books about our national heroes, Wallace, Bruce, Douglas, et al. But perhaps Scotland's oldest poet was no ordinary man. He was a man of substance. He had land, he was a laird, and he was a close friend of the reigning king at the time. And that king was King Alexander III. This man was called Thomas Lermont, or Thomas of Ercildoune. True Thomas, you may have heard him called, but most commonly Thomas the Rhymer. Thomas the Rhymer has intrigued me for a long time, and information on him is not so easy to come by. You've got to dig deep in your research. This is a great area here. There are a few herons in the area that I've seen already. I've certainly seen the deer, and it's just beautiful. And this is late afternoon, where the hard frost is developing now. Anyway, I digress. So I decided to make a film on this man called True Thomas, and that film is coming out this weekend. It took me 3 weekends to make the film, and it takes in various places, but I wanted to tell you about it. I want you to join me on a journey where I try and uncover and discover the character, the truth, and the myth and the legend associated with True Thomas. Nigel Tranter, I think it was one of his earliest books, he wrote a novel on True Thomas, called True Thomas. But I first heard about True Thomas from an old friend of mine who's now gone, and he was an absolute go-to person if you wanted information historically about your local area. This guy was an open book if you bought him a whiskey. And I drank many a whiskey with him. But he told me about this guy called True Thomas. And True Thomas became known as a seer, a foreteller of events. And some of these foretellings, the repercussions of those, would have devastating consequences for the people alive in Scotland at that time. And it's a film that I thoroughly enjoyed doing. I sincerely hope that you enjoy it just as thoroughly as I did making it. And that film on True Thomas comes out this weekend. Meanwhile, I've got my teeth into other projects. I will strive to endeavour to bring you regular quality content, and it's stuff that I love to do, so I won't go out there and do anything half-heartedly. It's you know, I like to get out there into the wild like this, just watching my dog hunt his heart out. But I'm here in Kyton Glenn. I must do a film on this place at some point, most definitely. But just a heads up that this weekend is a film coming about. Scotland's first, you could call him the father of Scottish poets. Have a great day, folks.